Greetings. Today is another day. As I see here on the streets of Valdosta, we know that there's a graduation today at Lowndes County High School. And as you can see, the Kendrick Johnson's family are standing once again demanding justice and full disclosure of all the records that are held, that are available at this stage of investigation of the death of their son. This will be an interesting day, I will assure you. Join me as I keep you informed, live while on the streets here in Valdosta, Georgia. And I have just been informed by the sheriff deputy that is behind me to my right. And I was informed that our trespass warrant has been issued against me here in Valdosta and Lowndes County, Georgia, not to enter any area of Lowndes County High School property. This came as a complete shock to me, based upon what I've just been told by this deputy, that I could have been arrested at any time. I was out there on property a few days ago, putting up a podium, walking on the property, not knowing that a warrant had been issued or banning me from Lowndes County High School here in the state of Georgia and in the United States of America. I have never violated any law here in Valdosta and Lowndes County that is recorded in record that I am aware of. And so I called the Justice League, Bobby Worthy, to inform him of what has happened. This is a continuous practice. This is about the fourth time that I've had problem with law enforcement. The Lowndes County Sheriff's Department under Sheriff Prime. We must make documentation that I, George Boston Rhymes, have violated no law in Lowndes County. Yet I have been issued a warrant not to go on Lowndes County tax-paying property, wherein there was a public meeting this morning. I was told that there was a Board of Education meeting on this area, the old field house, in the old field house. So I believe there's a great possibility that my constitutional rights have been denied. Again, I did not violate any law, yet they say that a warrant have been issued banning me from any area of Lowndes County High School. If I had a relative, which I do have some people that graduate today, I can't even go to the graduation to little Terry because I have been banned from the school by a warrant that I knew absolutely nothing about. Thank God I didn't go to this graduation, because I would have been arrested according to this deputy right here. Once again, I am George Boston Rhymes, and I do hope that C.B. King, Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, the Department of Justice, Eric Holder, and others will understand what the people here in South Georgia are going through while they ignore us.
Greetings. This is the Ghetto Free Press, and I'm George Boston Rhines in Valdosta, Georgia. What if I told you that I am a citizen of the United States of America, a retired military veteran of the Vietnam era, former business owner, former president of the NAACP for Valdosta and Lowndes County, and the owner of the Get To Free Press? What if I told you that on May the 25th, 2013, that I was placed under a criminal trespass by the Lowndes County Sheriff's Department following the death of Kendrick Johnson, and I violated no law? In other words, I'm restricted from going on any part or portion of Lowndes County High School without violating any law. What if I told you that the Valdosta Daily Times, under the then editor Kay Harris, refused to tell my story or to publish my story to the general public, that following the death of Kendrick Johnson, I was banned by either Superintendent Wes Taylor or Lowndes County Sheriff Prime for nothing except reporting the news and what others ignore. Moreover, what if I told you that the ABC television station, NBC, CBS, Fox locally here in South Georgia did not think enough of my freedom of movement, which should be under the Constitution of the United States government, have refused to even publish one article, one word about me being under a criminal trespass for 2 years and 10 months. Not in Afghanistan, not in Pakistan, not in Iran or Tajikistan, but right here where we stand in the state of Georgia. In the state of Georgia. Now, the night that Kendrick Johnson was found dead, that evening, the father, Kenneth, called me.
I was at home. It was about 11 o'clock. He wanted to talk to me. He said, I will get with you tomorrow. I said, no. So I got up out of my bed and I went to the father and mother's house in the back bedroom, and we talked and we dialogued. But somebody felt it necessary to place me under a criminal trespass without justification or notification or without violating any law. Now look, the district attorney, David Miller, the probate judge, the magistrate judge, even the federal courts here in Valdosta, Georgia, they all ran my name into the record. And they found nothing on me, and without exception, they all said, how could they do that to you? In fact, they said, this is illegal. This is illegal. Listen to me, United States Justice Department, Loretta Lynch. Listen to me, because Eric Holder received this, but he didn't do anything about it because apparently the citizens of America are not respected when it comes to the black man, the black woman, and the black children's rights concerning what is in the Constitution and the Bill of Rights here in the United States of America. So do you not know that nobody anywhere in the United States of America, not even the Georgia Press Association, no news media, not even CNN with Victor Blackwell, MSNBC with Al Sharpton at the time, or 60 Minutes, Dateline, 48 Hours, or Your Line, felt it necessary to even report about a retired military veteran rights being violated, being banned from a local public institution, the Lowndes County High School. I cannot go to any Lowndes County football game on Lowndes County High School property. I cannot go to a Lowndes County Board of Education meeting. I cannot go if a parent called me with the Get To Free Press. I cannot go on Lowndes County High School property. Now look, before the death of Kendrick Johnson, I could go anywhere here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, or the United States of America. It was only after the death of that young man that I was banned from Lowndes County High School with the title of the Get To Free Press. And you all know I report what other news media, mainstream media, will not. Such as all these mayors in 16 to 17 cities, they will report individually, the mainstream media, but they would not connect the dots like I have done. And do you not know the Georgia governor, the Georgia Secretary of State, Brian P. Kemp, Georgia Attorney General Sam Olin's office, and Eric Holder, the Department of Justice, and now Loretta Lynch should have been notified of how they are trying to circumvent the power of the black vote to intimidate blacks so they will not go to the polls to vote, as it was with the Quitman 10+2. And Miss Lula Smart was one of the Quitman 10+2 brought up on bogus charges by the state of Georgia. These 12 outstanding black citizens was charged with 119 voter fraud violations, and the state of Georgia put them under this for 4 years. One of them finally went to trial because they requested to go separately. Lula Smart was the only one of those 12 individuals that went to court. Her first trial was a mistrial. Her second trial was a mistrial. Her third trial, she was exonerated on all charges, 30 to 40, I'm not sure how many it was. And then the state dropped all 119 charges. But when they ran again in the next election, the Georgia Bureau of Investigation, the Secretary of State's office, and others had intimidated the black people so much in Quitman and Brooks County until the black people did not come out to vote. And therefore, those two black individuals on the School Board of Education lost their seats, thereby giving the whites a majority on the Brooks County Board of Education. And so they converted back to the beginning of that city being set up. Because when the Quitman 10+2 walked up the streets and got a majority on the School Board of Education, there was a few people who didn't like it, and so they fought it all the way, and that's what happened. And so there are things that took place in the Quitman 10+2 case that Eric Holder, the Democratic Party, needs to investigate. Why do you say that? If they could put me under a criminal trespass for not violating the law, if they can take all these black mayors and some commissioners and bring them on charges and try to remove them from office by the help, listen to me closely, by the help of people sitting on the city council with these black mayors and with the attorney that is supposed to provide legal counsel to these mayors, but these city councilmen, these city attorneys, the city city manager and clerks and others are fighting these black mayors to no end. And without exception, in most all of these municipalities that I've mentioned, such as Quitman, Meigs, Lumpkin, and on and on and on. Check this video out along with others, and you will see that there seem to be a pattern and practice to remove black mayors and won't nobody stand up and fight for voting rights. Now, why should black Americans vote Democratic Party when it is the chairman of the state of Georgia, DuBose Porter, the Wilkinson County newspaper, is fighting against Mary Ann Whipperloo in Gordon? If you go to Thomasville with Linda Harris, it's the Thomasville newspaper enterprise fighting against and lying, let me repeat, lying on Linda Harris, as I have already proven in these videos, and you can see it for yourself. Wait a minute. Go over to Gordon, Georgia with Commissioner Olivia Coley Pearson. Just Google a few videos back and see what's happening in Douglas. They outright lied on 12 black people concerning a militant organization, and you can see all of this. But look, black people and white right people, if they're being left, had better stand up. Look, because first they do it to the black man, then they do it to me, and if they can do it to the black man, then sooner or later they're gonna be doing it to every man and woman in the land. So I close this video out by saying very simple. Why is it if America, the United States, the country that I put my life on the line for 21 years, and received an honorable discharge with various awards and decorations, several commendation medals, why would the Valdosta Daily Times, ABC News locally, CBS, NBC, Fox, and others, why would they not report on a retired military veteran banned from public meetings here in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America? Why would they do this to me? And so can you blame Kenneth and Jacqueline for not trusting the local government, the law enforcement, the G.B.R., the Secretary of State's office and others, can you understand why they don't believe nor trust in them? And why would all of these mayors, black mayors, have all of these problems and not one damn newspaper in the state of Georgia, not a damn newspaper, not one television station, not in Russia, North Korea, Iran, Pakistan, or Tajikistan. I'm talking about right here where we stand in the United States of America. They will not. They refuse. Atlanta Journal and Constitution, they have all refused to connect the dots and show this pattern and this practice throughout the state of Georgia and perhaps around the nation. But they refuse to do what I have already done, well documented, presented to all levels of government, local, state, and federal, and sent video to Georgia Attorney General, to the Georgia General Assembly, and in Hancock County. You need to see what they did to voting rights there in Hancock County. But won't no news media, not a single one, connect the dots and show what I have documented for 60 minutes, 48 hours, Dateline, Your Line, MSNBC, CBS, all these so-called freedom of the press newspapers, Al Jazeera, all of them, I have sent this information to. And do you not know, including the NAACP, the Southern Christian Leadership Conference, and others have not stood up for voting rights and how blacks are intimidated? Even a Sheriff Chris Stevenson in Telfair County said that that was the worst investigation and untrained investigators from the Secretary of State's office that he had ever seen, and he had worked for the government. And he told me that I could use his name to tell the truth about how people in his county was brought up on charges for voting rights, and it was without justification or notification. Now look, do you think that CNN with Victor Blackwell, do you think that 60 Minutes and 48 Hours, do you think that MSNBC with the Honorable Al Sharpton, do you think that they did anything? Do you think anybody came and investigated about voting rights? And this is a presidential year? So why should the Democrats expect blacks to vote for them when the Democratic Party has not lifted a hand to any of these things that I have said and well documented? And you can leave me out of the mix with this criminal trespass because they have put other people under the criminal trespass right here, and they can't go to Lowndes County High School. And over in Meigs, Georgia, that mayor, Linda Harris, has been arrested 4 times, and it seems like the news media, newspapers, and television stations are in a conspiracy to destroy that mayor by any means necessary. And the people in Meigs know this. They talk about this. I got it on camera. But the TV station don't report those people. They won't report the black and white right people who are telling the truth. Same way in Gordon, Georgia. Same way in Lumpkin, Georgia. A clerk, overqualified. They just fired the black girl for somebody with less education, less experience, and her name is Naya Williams. Naya Williams. Google Lumpkin, Georgia, and get the rest of the story. But let me say this to you in closing. We do not have a news media here in America that will report the black news to the world. And so this is why in so many cases, very little to nothing is changing, because the United States of America do not have freedom of the press, freedom of speech, where people will stand up and tell the truth. Because they know that they do not have a news media outlet that will report their stories. Do you not know? Do you not know that Valdosta and Lowndes County have had 32 jail deaths from 19 94 to 2009. And from 2009 to 2016, the people in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, and in the United States of America don't know how many jail deaths because they say that they are not subject to the Open Records Act, and therefore they do not have to inform the general public. Now look, the Honorable Judge Hugh Lawson ruled in June of '97 that there was major violations in the Lowndes County Jail, and nothing has been done to really openly correct those violations in the jail. It's still as if though it is a Gestapo. So you can't blame Kenneth and Jacqueline for not trusting members of law enforcement with all this stuff going on. One more thing before I go. You read and heard about the Quitman 10+2. I listened to the conservative radio station when they lied on the Quitman 10. Oh, I got it recorded. Oh yes, I got my homework because I've done it very well. They said that those people had stacks of absentee ballots in their trunk. I heard them say this over the conservative radio station. I called in and I got it recorded, my response to them. But this is the lie that they was telling. But now they was exonerated on all charges. But what you do not know, number one, that a postal clerk in Quitman by the name of John Boone lied under oath in that 19-day court case. But you don't know nothing about that because your newspaper in Quitman, the Quitman Free Press, didn't report that, but this was proven in the courtroom. You don't know nothing about that. Moreover, he took information from those ballots within the circles of the Postal Service, and do you not know that they did nothing to him? He gave this information over to a private investigator. He gave this information to a private investigator. And after we brought it out, they eventually gave him some kind of letter of counsel, but that's all. But he lied under oath, and nothing was done. Wait a minute. The supervisor or whoever is over the board, Brooks County Board of Elections, took ballots home with her to process with using her granddaughter and maybe others to process those ballots. Now, I'm not saying that Georgia is a backward state, but why when the Secretary of State, why when the General Sam Olens, why is it when the governor and those heard about this that nothing happened to that lady as far as we know, yet she's an elected official that took ballots from the secure place by the county and by the state and took them home with her to process them, and she stated that under oath with Shaveen King questioning her, and nobody said nothing about it. She get away with that. Now, if the Quitman 10, which they found out they didn't, but if they mishandled the ballots, and if John Boone mishandled the ballots, and if the Board of Election supervisor mishandled the ballot, why did not the state of Georgia take them to court? Wait a minute, I haven't finished yet. Then, the former county attorney or school board attorney, the school board attorney named Dick Mitchell, I believe it was, he was the one that went out and hired a private investigator that got Joseph Boone. Well, I ain't gonna say he got Joseph Boone, but he got the information from Joseph Boone, and that's who Joseph Boone, I understand, according to I say it every day of the trial, gave that information to Dick Mitchell, a former attorney for the Brooks County School Board of Education, I was told. And as it came out and was testified in the courtroom. What happened to him? Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Then, Brooks County School Board of Education member Cunningham gave at least, he admitted to on the stand, at least $100 to Dick Cheney to hire that investigator, I think with $1,400 to $1,500, to do what he did. All this came out in court, but you don't know a single thing about that because the United States of America don't have a free press that will respect the rights of the American citizens enough to inform them of what takes place in the courtroom. Wait a minute, haven't finished yet. Do you not know that Latasha Head, one of the 12 black people, she's a female, died with lupus, and I talked to her father, and he believed that the stress that the state of Georgia brought on those people contributed to the death of their daughter. You don't hear nothing about that. They haven't been interviewed, just like they won't interview me. So now I'm asking you again, why should any black person serve in the United States Armed Forces? I served 21 years. But why should any black person serve in the United States Armed Forces when they can allow you to serve and retire honorably, then deny you the right for which you put your life on the line for, and won't even remove you in writing from what they did to you that was illegal, and no newspaper in the United States of America, let me repeat, no newspaper, television, or radio station will even remove you in writing. And so you serve your country, but then they tell you, you still are not a citizen yet. You are still governed by the Supreme Court decision of the Dred Scott decision back in 1857 that said that no black man had any rights that a white man was bound to respect. And so this is why they're doing this to me, and this is why they're doing this to you, and pretty soon white folk gonna find out these same news media outlets, Valdosta Daily Times, CBS, NBC, ABC and others, CNN, MSNBC, Dateline, Your Line, 48 hours, 43 hours, sooner or later they're gonna find out that what they did to me is gonna happen to them. Let me repeat, the same thing they did to the Get Too Free Press and George Boston Rhyme, they're gonna do it to everybody. Sooner or later, the Valdosta Daily Times gonna want somebody to tell their story and publish what's happening to them. But as you did it to me, so shall it be done to you. For Galatians 6 and 7 says, for God is not mocked, for whatsoever man sow, that shall he also reap. And so you can condemn me like in Gordon, Georgia on February the 6th, 2015, in Morris Bank parking lot. 8 to 9 white Caucasians called out as I was traveling the public highway in the state of Georgia. They called me a nigger. Yeah, they called me a nigger. You can call me what you want, and you can say I'm a liar. And this is why I'm gonna now let you listen to my lie. And I want you to see if I could orchestrate this. Listen to the lie. Since you call me a nigger, and you call me a lie, and you banned me from Lowndes County High School without justification or notification, and you will not remove me, I requested from West Taylor and the Sheriff Department, and want nobody in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, or in the United States of America will not, they won't even give this veteran the time of day. But I'm gonna keep on telling the truth, because Jesus said, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set you free. And if people lie to you in disguise of telling you it is the truth, now you know why you ain't free. You will never be free until somebody tell you the truth. And now I'm finna reveal to you the truth of what the Lowndes County Sheriff Deputy said to me. Then I'm gonna let you listen to what West Taylor said to Minister John H. Robinson. And I do this because I want you to know that I do not lie. I didn't lie in the military. After 21 years, I walked out with an honorable discharge, and I was the best of the best in the military. I walked upright. I stood on the square. I stood up beside the plumb line of justice, and I squared my actions by the square of virtue. which is the Word of God. And so now I'm going to show you a little bit more truth. All I'm going to ask you to do, take the patience to listen to see if George Boston Rhines is lying on the local, state, and federal government and those that you elected into office. I want you to see and figure out why the Valdosta Daily Times newspaper, why ABC television station, and all these other television stations in South Georgia, including MSNBC, CNN, and the rest of them, 60 Minutes and 48 Hours, if they really cared about voting rights. Look, if they really cared about voting rights for you black Americans, I'm not gonna call you black African Americans, because Africa is not the name of that continent, and it's time you know that. Africa is the name of a white European general that went into Africa and murdered black folk outright. So who could take pride in saying, I'm an African American, once you get the knowledge of truth, as Jesus said in St. John 8:32, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set and make you free. You will never be free until you understand how the white European have lied to you in the name of truth, and that's why you are not free. They tell you about the Atlantic Ocean, but they won't tell you that the original name for the Atlantic Ocean was the Ethiopian Sea, and then the Ethiopian Ocean, and from that, several other names. This has all been documented. Don't take my word. You can Google it, and you will find it for yourself. And so, as Elijah Muhammad said, the Europeans have flipped the switch on truth, and if you want to get clear, and if you want to be free, just if they tell you to go in, you go out. If they tell you to go up, you go down, and you'll be closer to being on point and meeting your maker than you would by following what they told you to do, and it have only incarcerated you and send your children to prison, jails, and death row, while they turn thumbs down on you as if though their law is not applicable to you. Now look, as I said, this is the end of me. Listen to the truth. Listen to audio tape that I recorded on the scene in May of 2013 when I was trying to go into a public facility here in the state of Georgia and was banned without justification or notification. And I had never been banned. I had never been banned. I had never been banned until Kendrick Johnson was found dead, found dead, found dead, found dead, found dead at Lowndes County High School. Now you listen to this and see why Sheriff Prime didn't remove me from this criminal trespass. Then ask the governor of the state of Georgia why he did not remove me, and I'm still under that criminal trespass. And May the 23rd will be 3 years that they've been playing that game with this black man. And I'm going to continue to say it. But though we suffer and though we die by the blood of the Lamb, we shall overcome. Why?
Stay right here.
Okay, they got a public meeting down here, so you're telling me I can't go to the public meeting?
I do not know anything.
I got you, but there's a public meeting.
All I'm saying is,
I'm not going.
I
understand that, but what I'm saying is that there's a public meeting down here, so you all telling me that I cannot go to a public meeting, and I haven't violated no law.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do like you say, but
you have a criminal trespass warning for the area of Lowndes High School.
okay. Everybody, all of us do.
No,
I do.
as far as I know, it's just
Is that right?
as far as I know.
Okay, I don't want to hold up traffic. So what do you want me to do? What do you want me to do, bro?
Go back out there.
Okay, man, it's gonna be interesting in court.
I'm a minister at the First Antioch Missionary Baptist Church, and my grandchildren attend school out there.
Yes, sir.
And there were some things that I was kind of concerned about, because I had asked a gentleman by the name of George Boston Ryan to come in and video my granddaughter's graduation, and he was stopped and said he wasn't allowed to come on the premises, and we were trying to find out what had he done that he couldn't come out there.
He was stopped by who?
By the sheriff department. Said that he was given orders by you guys that he wasn't allowed on the premises.
Okay. I think that may be something you'd have to take up with the sheriff's department.
Okay. So you guys, it's okay if he come out to the premises if something come up?
No, sir. What I'm saying is I believe that there was, and I don't know what they called it, some sort of order based on something that happened in the past, that I believe that there's something in place. And again, I think either he would need to discuss that with you or possibly the sheriff's department.
Oh, okay.
So I do believe there's something in place. I don't want to tell you something that's not right.
Right.
But I do believe that is accurate.
Right. Well, all right. Well, I tell you what, can you set an appointed time that I can come in and sit down with you?
Yes, sir. I would be glad to.
What about tomorrow sometime? What would be a good time?
I'm not going to be here tomorrow. Hold on just a minute. Let me turn this calendar around.
All right.
Can you see your calendar?
No, I'm not at the present time.
Okay. All right. Well, let me ask you this. Is there a particular day of the week that's better for you?
What about today? What about Friday morning?
Well, we're closed the rest of this week. That's what I was calling.
Okay.
This is part of the time when...
Well, what about Monday of next week?
All right. Let me open this thing up. Monday is June the 3rd.
Yes, sir.
I've got on Monday and Tuesday of next week, I'm meeting with each. We have 12 schools. I'm meeting with all of our principals on Monday and Tuesday.
Okay.
I've already got all of them scheduled.
Well, I'm scheduled to go to Atlanta. I got to be in Atlanta on Wednesday and the rest of that week, so I can't make that one.
All right. Well, hold on just a minute. I'm just flipping over the next week, which is Monday the 10th.
Okay.
I've got a principals meeting that day. Hold on, we'll get us a day. Hold on just a minute. Let me turn this thing over. That Thursday morning, which is the 13th, and I know you may not know off the top of your head, but that may be a possibility we could shoot for.
Okay. Well, you busy the rest of the day?
Is that on the 13th on that Thursday?
Well, yeah, but what about today?
I've got somebody scheduled at 3 and then somebody after that.
All right, well, we'll just make it for that time then, and we'll see what we can do, and I'll give you a call back, or we'll get back in touch.
All right, so you want to set a time on that morning, or you want to just wait and call me back? Whatever works for you.
I'll just call you back.
Okay, all right, that'll be fine, and we'll get a time that'll work for both of us, and I'll be glad to.
All right, well, as of you know right now, there's nothing that you guys have done to say that George Lyons can't come on the school campus.
I think there is something in place through the sheriff's department.
Okay.
Yes, I do think there is, but
all right.
I prefer that he either talk to you about that or the sheriff's department. I don't want to tell you something that's not right.
Okay, all right. Well, that'll work then. All right.
Okay.
All right, well, thank you.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Bye-bye.
Now here I am, a retired military veteran with over 20 years in the United States Armed Forces, fighting for the rights of foreigners, only to come home to be restricted from going to a graduation here in Lowndes County, and I'm mad as hell about it. I could have died in Vietnam. I could have died in Kuwait and other places. And so they just happen to be passing by. And I just want everybody to know, this is serious. It's not about just Kendrick Johnson no more. It's about all of these people in Valdosta and Lowndes County that have been treated like this. And the Justice Department, the governor of the state of Georgia, the president of the United States, the Congress, the Senate, we need help down here. What are y'all waiting on? Where is Jesse Jackson? Where is Al Sharpton? We need help down here. Where Congressman Maxine Waters, I'm appealing unto the world to come to Valdosta, Georgia. What's wrong with y'all? Don't y'all know we catching hell down here? I have violated no law. I am an upright individual. You can't say that I'm running around with extra women. You can't say that I'm doing drugs. You can't say that I am gay. You can't say none of that junk. For I am the best of God's creatures. And for me to be denied the right by the sheriff of Lowndes County deputies is a disgrace to the city of Valdosta. It is a disgrace to Moody Air Force Base. It's a disgrace to everybody come here to go to Valdosta State University. It is a disgrace for Wild Adventures. It's a disgrace for Georgia Military College. It's a disgrace for Wiregrass Technical College. And it's time for a change. Now that's the rest of the story. Thank y'all.
There's no need of standing up for the right unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong. Tell me how you're gonna ever stop being weak unless you make your mind up to be strong. You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. There's no need of standing up for the right unless you're gonna stand up against the wrong. Tell me how you gonna ever stop being weak unless you make your mind up to be strong. You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. Let me tell you now, it's easy to hate your enemy, and it's just as easy to love your friend. But if you are gonna love like the Bible tells you, you got to let the love of God come in. You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. Oh, don't you wanna love him better? Oh, don't you wanna love him more? Oh, can't you hear the Savior knocking? He keeps knocking at your door. You better make a haste to seek your maker before you have to meet with the undertaker. He will save you right now if you are willing. Can't you see the Bible is fulfilling? You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. Oh, don't you wanna love him better? Oh, don't you wanna love him more? Oh, can't you hear the Savior knocking? He keeps knocking at your door. You better make a haste to seek your maker before you have to meet with the undertaker. He will save you right now if you are willing. Can't you see the Bible is fulfilling? You got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long. I said you got to do right, walk in the light, it won't be long.
haven't finished yet. Do you not know that Latasha Head, one of the 12 black people, she's a female, died with lupus, and I talked to her father, and he believed that the stress that the state of Georgia brought on those people contributed to the death of their daughter. You don't hear nothing about that. They haven't been interviewed, just like they won't interview me. So now I'm asking you again, why should any black person serve in the United States Armed Forces? I served 21 years. But why should any black person serve in the United States Armed Forces when they can allow you to serve and retire honorably, then deny you the right for which you put your life on the line for, and won't even remove you in writing from what they did to you that was illegal, and no newspaper in the United States of America, let me repeat, no newspaper, television, or radio station will even remove you in writing. And so you serve your country, but then they tell you you still are not a citizen yet. You are still governed by the Supreme Court decision of the Dred Scott decision back in 1857 that said that no black man had any rights that a white man was bound to respect. And so this is why they're doing this to me, and this is why they're doing this to you, and pretty soon white folk gonna find out these same news media outlets, Dallas Daily Times, CBS, NBC, ABC and others, CNN, MSNBC, Dateline, Your Line, 48 hours, 43 hours. Well, sooner or later they're gonna find out that what they did to me is gonna happen to them. Let me repeat. The same thing they did to the Get Too Free Press and George Boston Ryan, they're gonna do it to everybody. Sooner or later, the Valdosta Daily Times gonna want somebody to tell their story and publish what's happening to them. But as you did it to me, so shall it be done to you. For Galatians 6:7 says, for God is not mocked, for whatsoever man sow, that shall he also reap. And so you can condemn me like in Gordon, Georgia on February the 6th, 2015, in Morris Bank parking lot. 8 to 9 white Caucasians called out as I was traveling the public highway in the state of Georgia. They called me a nigger. Yeah, they called me a nigger. You can call me what you want, and you can say I'm a liar. And this is why I'm gonna now let you listen to my lie. And I want you to see if I could orchestrate this. Listen to the lie. Since you call me a nigger, and you call me a lie, and you ban me from Lowndes County High School without justification or notification, and you will not remove me, I requested from West Taylor and the Sheriff Department, and want nobody in Valdosta, Lowndes County, the state of Georgia, or in the United States of America will not, they won't even give this veteran the time of day. But I'm gonna keep on telling the truth, because Jesus said, and ye shall know the truth, and that the truth shall set you free. And why?
2 weeks ago, and he's not allowed to be on the property by order of West Taylor.
Okay. No, you know me, man. I'm about, but I'll do that question.
Go in this area, you'll get arrested, okay?
Okay, what can I do?
You either can stay right here.
Okay, they got a public meeting down here, so you're telling me I can't go to the public meeting?
I do not know anything.
I got you, but there's a public meeting.
All I'm saying is,
I'm not going.
I've been told.
I understand that, but what I'm saying is that there's a public meeting down here, so you all telling me that I cannot go to a public meeting, and I haven't violated no law.
Okay.
Okay, I'm gonna do like you say, but
You have a criminal trespass warning for the area of Lowndes High School.
okay. Everybody, all of us do. I do.
As far as I know, it's just